back of the block. Alright, so the back of the block has got, we're going to undo that ground strap right there. That's the back of the block. See where we are right here? There's the front of the block. Block. Back of the block. There is. We're going to undo that ground strap. There is a bigger ground strap. That goes from the block to right there on the right there. See, that's where the brake thing is, and there's that. All right. Now there is a connection right there, right next to the cam sensor. Right next to the cam sensor, that's that big black thing sticking out, and there's a sensor right there. We're gonna have to unplug that. Now, following this mishmash of cables, there is a cable that, where does it go? This is all already undone. Right there, all that's undone. But this guy right here, alright, he dives, so you're there, and you're there, and he dives up underneath the AC lines, over by the AC accumulator, and then he dives back down. But he's attached to the accumulator. So there's a sensor there. Now, breaking off of there, well, that's that sensor. But this part of the wiring harness just keeps going and going and going. It goes down. Alright, so there's the accumulator. He goes down. He drops down past whatever those are, below those hard lines. Alright, keep going, and then he snakes behind the reservoir, and then he comes back up, and guess what he ends up being? One of the first things we disconnected. This is the mass airflow sensor, which goes into the what do you call it? The AEM thing. Alright, so he goes underneath the bottle, and he's just gonna fall like so. Oh no, he's got a sensor in the bottle too. Holy crap, look at this bitch. Alright, so he's got a sensor in the bottom of the bottle that we gotta unplug, and he continues on, and then he hooks into the accumulator, and then he's tied onto the firewall by this thingy here. We're going to have to figure out how to undo that. And he continues along the firewall. One of that thingy there kind of came undone, and then it keeps on coming around, and I don't know what else. This guy, this branch right here, this big fat fucker right here, he just disappears. I wonder if he's got to do with the transmission stuff, because he just keeps going and going and going and going. Something else down there. Not sure what the hell that is. I'll have to figure that one out in another video. Alright, you'll notice that guy, the big long one that I just spent all that time discussing, is still on. That's because he branches down and he continues to go underneath the car somewhere. So even if I were to undo all of these sensors, it still wouldn't get me anywhere with that one. Alright, so now lately my stickers haven't been working, so alright, right next to the cam sensor is this black thing that sticks up. Alright, guess what? He's not going to have a label on him. Well, maybe he will, but as of right now, he's attached to Mr. Lime Green. So, the sensor next to the cam sensor, the big black thing that sticks straight up, which you can't see, is connected to the green one. Greeny, who's poked into the blue, which is where the cam sensor goes. Cam sensor, I think, is out. So, that's it. See that ground strap right there? It connects to the back of the block. Boy. It connects to the back of the block on a bolt back there. It also, that black bolt, if I can get it focused, that black bolt is also attached to that electrical snarly thing right there. Both of those are attached to a bolt on the back. So I'm going to have to release that bolt to get both of those things unattached. In addition, there's another ground. I'm sure I've talked about it before. Right there. I think it's the same size bolt, or nut, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Let's crack that ground loose with a 13 and replace the bolt. Now I'm going after the tricky 13. The tricky 13 is on the very back of the block where this electrical and that ground go into. Can't see it, but we'll see what we can do here. Alright, see that bugger right there? That's part of the wire harness, as you can tell, and it was attached to the back of the block with a ground strap. The ground strap is the ground strap that attaches to the firewall. That's it right there. So ground strap from the back of the block to the firewall up here. I reattached it up here. It's a 15 millimeter nut or bolt, whatever you want to call it, and it is back in the back of the block. All right, at this juncture, I think we're clean to the back of the block. I don't think there's any more connections. I don't think there's any more connections. We still have this wiring harness because this guy not only goes to the mass airflow sensor, but he branches off and tucks underneath the car someplace. Probably, I'm guessing, to the starter sensor, but he's clipped in pretty good, so I don't know what we're going to end up doing. I don't know whether we're going to be able to take the entire wire harness. Pretty tired here. Whether I'm going to take the entire harness and be able to flop it to the side, or whether I'm going to have to pull the engine and just deal with all this nightmare here. That's it. Alright, so this is where we're at with the project. In order to remove the engine, I wanted to get the power steering pump and bracket assembly off of the block. I wanted to get the AC compressor off the block. I needed to get all the wires off of the rear of the block, off the block, and now I need to go and investigate what's going on with the starter, and we'll see what's going on there.